Today we're going to create a simple raised ladybird. With a single strand of black thread, start by sewing a circle in backstitch. I tend to do a lot of my work freehand, so you can see my circle is not perfect. If you do want a perfect circle, you can draw around a coin or make a little template for yourself. I think I could do with one of those rulers that have all the different size circles in them. That would be very useful. Now 2 strands, start surface satin stitch going horizontally across the circle. We're going to use the stitches to make a raised body. These stitches will not be seen, so they don't have to be perfect. Now start to do vertical stitches, covering the previous stitches. Again, these stitches will not be seen, but I have taken the opportunity to tidy up the edges of my previous stitches. We use a surface satin stitch so that we don't create a lot of bulk on the back of the fabric, as this would be really hard to sew through as you build up the layers. Check out my video in the stitch glossary on how to do the surface satin stitch. It's a bit of a mouthful, that. Now change to 2 strands of red thread. Choose which side you want the head to be. I have a bit of a flat side here, as you can see, so that is actually perfect for the head. Not intentional, but it worked out well in the end. If you have a perfect circle, you can either keep the head within the circle. This will create a sort of very round, cartoonish or whimsical version of a ladybird. Or you can add some stitches at one end to create the head. Sew a V with the point at the head end of the ladybird. Now continue with your surface satin stitch. This will look like the wings are open a little bit, and this will be your top layer of stitches. Depending on how raised you want the ladybird, you can always do 2 layers, but make sure you fill in any gaps of black showing. Now add the head. If you have a circle, you can sew over the top of the red V. You can see that it is slightly raised. The more layers of stitching you do, the more it will be raised, which is why we need to keep the stitches just on the surface. Now add a few spots. I've used straight stitch. You could use a French knot, but ladybirds are very smooth and French knots are a raised stitch, so bear that in mind. But if you are doing a large piece with lots of stump work, you might want to use a French knot. The ladybird is very recognisable now, so you can leave it as it is. However, I am going to add in the extra details. In a single strand, I'm adding 2 antennae and 6 legs. Do the legs with a joint in them. And there you have a cute little Stumpwork ladybird. I've used mine in a mini hoop and made it into a brooch. Do check out my mini beasts in mini hoops video and subscribe for more embroidery and textile projects.